What is up, YouTube? This is Eric, and this is the review of the 2019 Ford Raptor. Perhaps arguably the greatest truck ever made. I'm gonna tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, what I didn't like about it, and how I fixed it, and everything in between. Obviously, the exterior, ridiculous, super duper sick, power, everything. This comes out, nice stair. This comes out, it's a nice handle. You can climb up. Got the hard aluminum tonneau cover, roll up OEM from Ford and their partner. So it just easily rolls forward, locks into place. There's a lock there, close it up. When you do buzz it through car washes or when you wash it yourself, it does drain very nicely. So there's never anything in the back, but you got to make sure your bed is empty when you wash it. Otherwise, you're going to regret whatever you left back there. So that's the bed. That's the rear. I did upgrade these lights back here. This is one of the fastest upgrades you can do on the truck. Costs you about 20 bucks on Amazon, and those become bright white, which matches all the other LEDs on the truck. And I'll tell you what, people love or hate that. I personally love it. It looks really good on this blue, but I see why people wouldn't want people to see their license plate. But I don't really have any fear of it myself, so I do it. And I'll show you them in a second. It'll look better as it gets a little darker here anyways. Let's get to the cab. Obviously look at this thing. This thing is like a minivan that's been lifted in terms of size and the interior and has a bed on it. One of the biggest knocks on the Raptor is that it can't pull large trailers and boats and stuff like that, but in terms of an everyday pickup that your family can go off-roading one day, camping another day, to school another day, and just look cool as hell doing it, this is maxed out. So obviously enough space to sleep back here. And by the way, they make really nice bed, inflatable beds for the bed for 100 bucks on Amazon too. So I've slept back there. I've slept here, very comfortable. And just roll out a sleeping bag and you're good to go. And it's got a little extra storage space down here. That's where I keep my hitch. And in terms of what you got going on back here, you got your seat heaters, lighter adapter, 2 USB-A's. This was before the proliferation of USB-C, and a full-blown plug, a 110 volt plug. That comes in handy with some tools. Gigantic American cup holders. I'll get to those in a second. And seat folds down. Super comfortable leather seats, adjustable. It does have these inflatable belts, which are difficult for kids to plug in. And I noticed that Raptor did not do these. Ford did not do these after the Generation 2. And it's kind of strange to me that they are only in the rear cabin here. So it's kind of hard for kids, especially little kids, 5 and 7 year olds like I have, to get that in there, line it up. You have to line it up just right. And if you have a car seat in here, it becomes kind of a bigger problem. So if you have little kids, then that's what you'll spend your time doing in this. It's got the carbon fiber package. This was at the time a $1,000 upgrade, which is hard to believe, but I'll show you where else there's a few carbon fiber accents for $1,000. Some more storage down here, another cup holder. These are pretty good. Enough room for a couple of books and magazines and toys for the kiddos, and easily fit 5 full-grown adults in here. 3 car seats, no problem in this truck. Got the keypad to unlock. Got the mirror. So these came and they weren't folding. I did the Ford software thing where you can pack it together a little bit. And so I'll put that as one of my complaints, is that they weren't folding mirrors. They are now on lock and unlock. Love, obviously, the tires and rims. Beautiful, easy to air down and air up, and just look sick as hell. I have these rigid fogs, and I put them behind this grill cover, make it super flush and low key. Did the same thing for these M&R light bars, one amber, one white. I'll turn them on for you here in a second as it gets darker. And in terms of the exterior of the truck, I love this blue. I think it's super sick. I think it looks great with the ambers here. And when you get those amber fogs going with the wide and the DRLs, it just looks tough. And when you see this bad boy coming behind you on the road, you know what's up. So let's take a look at the interior here. Well, first, why don't we do this? We're gonna start it, remote start, which by the way, also has unlimited access to the Ford Pass app, so you don't have to pay a subscription fee, which arguably makes Gen 2 one of the strongest offerings. So you've got your V6 twin turbo with a remote start here, and you can also do it from the app. And gotta lock it first. Notes that the mirror is folded. So we'll unlock it. So I'm gonna tell you something. There was a big Ford technical service bulletin about repairing the cold start feature here on the engine, and before it would have a problem cold starting. It was super annoying, and really glad that Ford fixed that for free. So if there's two things I can tell you about this truck that you're gonna wanna get fixed up, it's gonna be make sure it's got that TSB taken care of. And the other thing too is it's got this big, beautiful moonroof up here, which we're gonna open up. And this would fall off its track. And if you search Ford Raptor moonroof, which was a huge paid upgrade, I think it was like an extra $2,000 or something like that when people bought this car initially, it would fall off of its track, right? And so you can pay Ford, because there is no TSB on this, you can pay Ford a couple $1,000s to fix that for you. I think last I checked it was $2,000 to fix that. Or you can fix it yourself, and there's kits, which is what I did. About 2 hours of work and fixed it, got it back on track, and it had some easy to follow YouTube videos. It was not a difficult, just time consuming operation. So you're gonna ask the owner before if they fix this. Now I think maybe one day Ford might be nice and give you a refund for the stuff here, but there's no guarantee they do that. So if you have one of these, ask the owner if they've repaired it already. If they haven't, one day you may find yourself getting stuck with it a quarter open when you need it closed the most. And for that reason, you might just want to never open it in general and just enjoy the light from it. So what else? You've got the passenger seat here with some more, hard to see here, but some carbon fiber accents here and there. I'm sorry, but I'm reviewing this at night to give you a different perspective, but it'll come in handy here in a second. And now a couple of other things you've got going on is it does not have wireless CarPlay, but you can buy one of these adapters like I did there, and it's like 40 bucks off Amazon. You just gotta make sure it works with the Raptor, and then you'll have wireless CarPlay. It is excellent, flawless, works for me every time. Love it. So that's another shortfall that is easily fixed in the Raptor here. What else? Oh, so this is a middle cover that you can buy off Amazon for maybe 20 bucks. I'll try to put all the links in the description here. But this is super useful because when you rest your elbows in long drives, this has so much more padding than the piece of plastic that's underneath it. And obviously a ton of storage in here. And so you could keep a little gun cabinet or whatever you want in there. It's just got room for tons of stuff. And then you've got two giant American cup holders down there. You've also got more cup holders down there. So if you count the two in the fold down center, the two on the sides, you're at 4, 6, 8, 9, and then there's one on my side as well, so that's 10. What else? So I also have this Redencio radar detector and it's the Garmin Mini 2 dash cam up there, and both of them are tapped directly into this mirror here. So it's very clean, and it also abides by California law in that you cannot have something mounted to your windshield. Now let's talk about the truck itself. Obviously very nimble, very fast. I love that you can set up your own dashboard here, and let's talk about fuel economy. So on average, I get 13 miles per gallon. Now I'll tell you that I've never once used 91 octane fuel in here, and even though they recommend it, it's just not an easy thing to do here in California, and it does not make a world of a difference. I don't care who tells you it does. If you're going to keep your car forever, maybe. If you're gonna keep your truck forever, maybe. But I'm get the oil changed on it regularly. I'm constantly tinkering on it and making sure everything's running smooth. I've never noticed a difference, and The drop in performance is, if you're going off-road and if you're going Bajaing, sure, fill it up with 91, but don't see any issue in swapping between the two. And so it's nice, you get to see your drive mode, which there's several here. I usually use sport when I'm going through the city, and then the other modes for what they're used for, which basically it's just changing the four-wheel drive, which you can do manually over here anyways, and setting a few of the other things on the Fox shocks and all that good stuff, which, by the way, this is just like riding a Cadillac in the air when you're going over stuff. It just, you don't feel anything. So love it. I actually like the exhaust note on it, and I changed air filter and intake on it, and it just does not sound whiny with the turbos. It sounds great, and in fact, you can't even really notice the spool on the turbo very much at all. It just sounds kind of tough. Not as tough as the R, obviously, but pretty tough. So in terms of the infotainment, I only use CarPlay. I never use this system, so wireless CarPlay is the only way I go. And I also have another adapter here, which is useful for all different sorts of phones out there. So recommend this off of Amazon. Again, probably another 15 bucks. The cameras are okay, I will say. The 360 view is good. The front view is useful. The front wide view is actually more useful. I wish that you could select side views. And then the rear camera is just okay. It only has parking sensors in the rear, which nobody told me about before I bought this. And when you park in a giant boat like the Raptor, it would be nice to have some front parking sensors. That's all I'm saying. Auto start stop, which may be one of the most annoying things, is also one of those things you can fix with modifying the software using the Ford software that's out there. Just search the forums for how to do that. Happy to address that in the comments too. Which, by the way, I also modified the front lights to run daytime running lights using that same software. So I think I covered everything good and bad about the interior here. I don't like that it's got so many buttons here, and sometimes I find my hands wandering and catching the wrong button. And I will tell you what is a little bit dangerous is that you go to press mute and then you accidentally change the mode. So I've done that before when I'm driving, and then it switches to four-wheel drive, which is terrifying. The other complaint is that this has the 802A package. That's why I've shown you a lot of little upgrades on it, including that 360 camera. So that is something I would highly encourage. It definitely makes it a much better experience overall. Paddle shifters are obviously nice to have. And then the other thing is that it's got the cruise control, which is pretty cool in that it can work on the automated cruise control, in that it can measure the distance between cars and give you easier experience. Now the thing, and I love that feature, by the way, I use it often in traffic, but the thing about it is it makes the most awful grinding noise when it puts on the brakes. And apparently, according to the manual, this is a normal behavior. Does not make me feel good whatsoever. So that is that. Oh, we're gonna check out, so it's got all of the light switches up here, the aux switches, which I've installed some lights. So we're gonna go experience all of those real quick. I also got these fun stickers for them. You can see those. Let's check out the light switch. So obviously one of the funnest parts about owning a truck is modifying it for your specific. So here's the end product. So we've got the rigid fogs down there, which do a pretty good job. I would say they're more for show than fog experience. And then these off-road ones, of which are just cool as heck. The amber one is fun for nighttime, seeing stuff that you would not normally see on the off-road. And then this one is just obscene with its brightness. And you can't really tell from the camera, but that is blinding in person. And I love the mirror lights as well, which you can turn on from the cab. Seats, obviously, you can modify those in a number of different ways. You've got 3 different memory positions here. Sound system is exceptional. The B&O sound system, which is what comes with 802A. I don't know if you can see the little B&O on this center speaker here. This is one of the best stock systems I've ever had in a truck. And Raptor on the seats. I've got the mud mats there, which is good. Those just rinse off with a hose. And I think that's it. And the home link, which is always good. So it works with both my garages and the gates as well. So different steering modes, which I rarely do. Also, if you swapped out of a terrain mode, it would also swap your steering if you had that necessary. Truck info, obviously the towing and off-roading info is pretty legit. I find it legit. It's the basics of what you need when you're doing this, but it's nothing more than that, right? So got all of this, your drivetrain, the pitch and all that good stuff. And it just shows it in different ways. There's nothing revolutionary here. And I give them credit because it was an upgrade to the Gen 1, but nothing that blows your mind here. And then the towing trailer information and stuff is really useful. I've towed just 2 small things with this, and I have to say it was a very easy, simple experience. And I know I'm getting long-winded on this stuff here, but if I was buying this truck at 50,000 miles, if I was buying it for myself, this is everything I would want to know. And again, I have no regrets on this. I think it is basically a perfect truck, especially after the mods I've made to it. And I seriously couldn't recommend this truck enough. And I hope that you got some value out of this review. And if you did, you know what to do. And subscribe, all that good stuff. This is classic information that's been around in many cars and trucks for many years, just presented in different ways. So there's nothing really revolutionary about this other than it's good, clean, easy to read, and just works. So AC is great. The heated cool seats is great. Gets cool and hot super fast. The ventilated seats I think are slightly better than most that I've used out there, but if you've ever used ventilated seats, you know that they're not great in general. A little bit more of that carbon fiber accent there on the gear shift. That's about it, folks. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the 2019 Gen 2 Raptor with the 802A package. I'm gonna try to include some footage of me driving it, me off-roading it, and some stuff like that at the end here. So, all right, thanks YouTube. Hope you enjoyed.
Let's talk about the steering of the Raptor. This beautiful steering wheel right here is so great in the hands. The perforated leather just feels excellent. And you've got the paddle shifters here, the aluminum paddle shifters that stay with the wheel. Really easy to row through gears, especially when you're off-roading. And the adaptive cruise control, super easy to work with. And it just makes driving this thing even better pleasure than it is. So I'll set that up right now. Adaptive cruise is on. There's not a whole lot of traffic, so it doesn't matter right now, but it is super useful in traffic, except when you slow down, it tends to make a grinding noise, which according to the manual is okay. The lane keep assist, borderline useless. And other than that, that's the steering experience of the Raptor. Can't complain. It just adds the enjoyment of driving this beautiful truck.